Hi, Anthony Alfo here, and in this video we're going to talk about how to boost your portfolio returns after tax. Wealth management is a maximization problem. What I mean by that is that we need to focus on maximizing your wealth, and oftentimes I think there are too many instances where it's become tax focused in the beginning. So let me show you an example here. So we have option A investment. You get a 7% rate of return and you pay 2% in taxes, and you're going to net in your pocket a 5% rate of return. Option B, 3% rate of return, 0 taxes, after tax 3%. Which investment would you rather have? If you said option A, you would be correct, but oftentimes I see a lot of conversations that are being steered towards option B. The problem, or how that usually comes up, it would be something along more of a product salesman talking about utilizing tax efficient vehicles like life insurance, where you're going to minimize or eliminate all the taxes. But what they don't really bring up is that the rate of return is not going to be quite as good as a regular after-tax account. So just to kind of hammer home this concept, we need the investment dog to lead the tax tail. We can't have the tail wag the dog, and sometimes I'm seeing that the tax conversation is leading it, but with wealth management we have to start with the investment, maximize returns, and ultimately try to minimize taxes as best we can. So let's cover some of the ways that you can boost your portfolio returns. Number one, let's talk about using tax efficient vehicles, index funds, ETFs, tax managed funds. Too often we see people using funds that are not as tax efficient. This is pretty straightforward. Once we start talking about asset allocation, the next thing would be asset location. What I mean by that is, where do you hold certain types of funds to be even more tax efficient? So we want to use growth oriented and international types of stocks in your taxable accounts, muni bonds in a taxable account. You could get away with regular bonds today in taxable accounts only because the interest rate environment is so low. We want to use more US large cap stocks, REITs, due to them being tax inefficient, and regular bonds in our pre-tax accounts like our IRAs. And then US small stocks we would use in our Roth account because they have the highest expected rate of return, and Roths are going to allow all that money to continue to compound and grow tax-free into the future. Now, not everyone has the ability to open up all 3 accounts due to the way that their lifestyle is set up. Sometimes people have all their money or the majority of their money in the pre-tax accounts because they used it all in their company savings plan and they didn't have a Roth option. So sometimes you're not going to be able to balance it this way. This would be more of like a perfect situation. But what you really want to do is just try to make sure that if you have the ability to have a taxable account, identify which securities would be best in there and then offset with the appropriate other accounts if and when possible. So the other concept I want to talk about is an HSA account, a health savings account. Now, this type of account has the word health with it, but it actually, I think it's called the wrong thing. Really, it's a tax-free triple play type of account because the money goes in tax-free, the money grows tax-free, and the money actually comes out tax-free. So it's a fantastic vehicle that there is nothing else out there like it that I'm aware of. A health savings account has traditionally been used to pay your medical expenses out of pocket, but a much better strategy would be to pay your own health care out of your pocket and then use the HSA account to invest it in mutual funds that you would be eligible to, and allow that account to grow and grow and grow. And then when you're 75 and healthcare costs are a lot higher, then you can use that account to pay for those healthcare costs as needed. So the way that you get access to an HSA account is that, number one, you need an eligible healthcare plan that's called HSA eligible. So that would be step one. Number two, max out the contributions here. Step three, take the investments inside the HSA and invest it in the mutual funds that you have available to you, and most likely towards growth-oriented mutual funds. And then again, pay your medical costs out of pocket. And number four, when you have a taxable investment account, a non-retirement account, and you have, let's say, $2 million in this type of account, let's just say the cost internally is about $1 million. So now you have built up gains of about $1 million. If you were to sell this, it would cost you about $250,000 in taxes. So a better way to utilize this and to save your money going to taxes would be to actually die with it and pass this on to the next generation. That next generation, or your heirs, I should say, would actually get a step up in basis. Therefore, that would eliminate them having to pay any taxes on that $1 million gain. So we have a lot of clients who want to pass money down to the next generation or their grandchildren or some other type of entity, and this would be a much better use of these funds to pass along down, and in replacement to use maybe your IRA or some other type of account to live on instead. So I hope this video was helpful to talk a little bit more about what wealth maximization is all about and some of the strategies to boost your after-tax returns. In my next video, I'm going to talk to you about how to permanently cut your IRA tax bill with the concept of Roth conversions. Thanks again for watching.